Hi, my name is Robert and this is my game room. I've been buying and collecting and playing war games for more than 50 years. I love to show it off, and I'm finally deciding to actually do a video for the YouTube. Actually, I think it'd be better to start and look at the entire room as you enter. So as you come through the door, we have the bookshelves on the left. It goes all the way around, all the way to this side. Then it goes to the SPI flats, all the way across, back to the entrance. Okay. To look at the ceiling, I don't know how well the lights will show up, but these are all fluorescent lights. I had it put in when we built the house. This room was specially built just for my war games. In the middle, you'll see my table. It's 4 feet by 8 foot with a 4 foot by 8 foot plexiglass. And to get even more space, I ended up having to put bookshelves around it. Then on the other side, you have the same thing. Bookshelves all the way around to fit everything in. I'll kind of go over each section real quick here. When you come into the left here, we have different companies. I try to sort stuff by company. Here are a lot of the smaller games in this little bookshelf. These are all IKEA bookshelves. Billy, I believe. So when we made it, we had it all. I had measured everything so we knew exactly what we wanted to get. Now at the very top, I don't know if I showed that earlier, very top going around are my GDW games. And then I'll get to that in a second. And then over here, the MMP. All the way down into some of the Avalanche. This is the Panzer Grenadier stuff. The boxes at the bottom hold additional modules. Every little nook and cranny has been filled with different stuff. You can see, for example, where they're beyond the Rhine, if you look above it, that's got all kinds of things, probably for Panzer Grenadier. And we go all the way down. The ones at the very bottom, the black, are other Simcan games. Then we continue back up on this shelf, all the way up. Over here now we're getting into the 3W stuff. It's my fan. I live in Yuma, Arizona, so lots of fans. There's my old dog. He's getting very old and he won't leave my side, so it's kind of hard sometimes. We go back up in this top, all the way down. I'm not used to making videos, so it might be a little bit shaky. And then again on this side, now I'm starting to get into decision games. Let me step back a little bit. Move the chair. So we're getting to decision games, and I try to keep things organized by company. It doesn't always work that way. I don't know if I finished that. Victory games. But generally things are by company. Every now and then something just doesn't fit and it ends up stuck someplace else. Oops. On this side at the top, conflict games. Back down. Some lock and load. Lock and load seems to be in several different places. And we go down. I'm starting some of the SPI box games. And over here, more SPI. There's some of the big detergent box games. All the way up, and now there's just stuff up at the top. More SPI. all the way down. And over here, now I think we're starting to get into West End and Clash of Arms, and there's some more variety of stuff. So here, most of the things at the top are big games that really wouldn't fit in shelves. And you go down. Every now and then you might see a duplicate of something. I've removed most of the duplicates I have. I have probably hundreds of different duplicates. Over the years, I did a lot of auctions, a lot of eBay auctions. And back in the 90s, there was a thing called the Rec Games board. I picked up a lot of things. So I just ended up with a pretty big collection for 50 years. It's wargaming has been the one constant in my life since I was 10 years old, 1970. It's been my passion. You know. All right, now we're starting to get into the S&Ts. The ones at the top are punched S&Ts. They don't really fit into the shelves very neatly. They're almost all duplicates of mint games that are in the shelves. I can go down and show. These are the S&Ts, and then the add-on Modern War and World at War. There's nearly every copy. There's a couple odd and ends in the 200s that I'm missing, but then down at the bottom, I think those are generals. There's like things like the little counter trays I just kind of put in there to get them out of the way. Now in the box, these were originally shelves I built because I was kind of into Warhammer 40k and Flames of War, but I've turned them back in. If you can see inside, these are the Polish games I have. And then here's some of the cream of my collection, some of my Ad Technos things. The Vaktam Rhine is just an extra game I put in there because I've been inventorying it. At the bottom, I think those are Command. And there's just odd and end junk between there. There's more stuff at the top. There's more Polish games. Then we get into some Japanese things. I think at the bottom there, it's either the Wargamer or one of the gaming magazines. And on this side are just odd and end stuff at the bottom. You can see I've got some of my Fresno games kind of put out of the way. And then there's just odd and end stuff. Here are my Grognard simulation games. Back up a little bit. I put them all against on this side of the game table. That side of the game table, I have the Great Battles of History thing. All of this is to try to get stuff in the game room, my war games. This is Stalingrad's a beat up copy I picked up, kind of doing an inventory, messing around with it. I have another mint copy. It's actually over in the other shelves. Then continue on over here. Glance around at the top. And now we get to, these are Ziploc games. As you can tell, I can hardly fit anything in there. Toward the bottom, I think they're Vivictus and some of the other one, Paper Wars. All the Europa news, although I think those are at the bottom. I mean the Europa magazine. Battle Ground, let's see, Yog Panther, all those. Here are some of the bigger things. It's kind of nice because if you look, you can see how that the bookshelf is actually at an angle, so I don't really waste any space. Some of the bigger boxed games. And we come over here, and then I'll just go real quick across the top. That's all my Compass games. And then the little box at the bottom, they got dice sets in the back, but behind that are small Ziplocs. Then here's the Great War at Sea, more Avalanche Press. Going down. Over here, that Blitzkrieg is a box I made at the very bottom that has a bunch of these add-on counter sheets and stuff. And then just TSR games. And then over here we start the GMT collection. And at the bottom are counter trays for Space Empire 4X. They're all filled. It's a project of mine. Over the years I've picked up probably 8 or 10 sets of counter sheets. Some just from the game and other ones from just buying counter sheets. Then Wargames Workshop. GMT. All the way down. Zip over to the table real quick. Underneath the table, I have other type of games. These are Space Gamers and other odd and fanzines over the years. Stuff. There's a couple of my dice towers. And of course, another fan. Now, let's go back to the bookshelf. And where we continue. Well, over here, ASL. Still more compass all the way across the top. ASL. Then we start to get to Squad Leader, and of course there's other GMT stuff. Like I said, not everything is exactly where it should be. There's some Columbia games. Oops. These are all Avalon Hill. And these are, well, just what it kind of says. Over here is Victory Games. More Avalon Hill items. Like at the bottom of Columbia's games. Over here is the very bottom. This is Wizard Kings. I really like that. So good. All the extra stuff for it. More games. Avalon Hill. There's GDW, some stuff. I think for Wizard Kings, the Series 120 to fit up in these little things. That's Longest Day. The plain white boxes are the Marshall Enterprises, the Marshall Household, the new one, or the relatively new, the ones I've been producing over the last 10 years or so. The Premier rules. Now we get over to my flats. At the bottom are different games in flats. Then you can just kind of start with the flats. Quite a few duplicate stuff. I don't know. It's like a comfort food to me or something, the old SPI flats. So anytime I can find one for 20, 25, 30 bucks, I'll pick it up if it's in good shape. I clean them up real well. I repair the boxes. I repair everything on them. And then kind of put them in here. Big, large Ziplocs are all on the sides. There's all kinds of things in there. A lot of the old GDW big Ziplocs and just lots of other things. And all the way down. Here are my white SPI flats. Other stuff. And more flats. Even between the stacks of flats are magazine games and stuff. At the top of this wall is a lot of the larger things that just doesn't really fit in the shelves. So I kind of just put them up there. At the very top here, there's like historical, I think it's historical seminary, the old Siege of Jerusalem, some of the other big games. And, okay. Oh, let me go back. And then here, in this shelf, next to the table here, there's just other stuff. The white box there is actually War in the Pacific. I have the game actually in mint shape pretty much, but no box for it, so I just put it in one of the GMT white boxes. Then here are the Avalon Hill and Yakinto and Battle Line games. Anything that kind of fits in those shelves. And here's the Diffraction. Going on down, the Thin Red Line Company. Some other large ones, like People War Games, some of the Clash of Arms, La Batale. Then these are basically Avalon Hill box. Yeah, I know, a lot of Blitzkriegs. Don't even know why, I just like them. Tactics 2, those are all actually different versions of Tactics 2. There's the Gun Hill Road one and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of silly, I guess. Let's see. Alright, let's go over here. Oh, here's what I was looking for. These are other things on the back shelf here. A lot of sci-fi and Battletech. Some extra stuff. It's the first edition, or the 1995 3 Days of Gettysburg. I kind of put it over here. And then I think, oh, I don't know if I got this spot. These are some Italian games and some other ones at the bottom there. I think one more spot. And under the shelf on this side, there's some more kind of extra. That's an extra Typhoon that I want to go through. An extra next drawer I want to kind of go through. Some of the DVG stuff. More lock and load. And in the little plastic containers here, there's dice and trays and trimmers. Oh, I forgot one more box of things. And right in here, some La Batale and some other stuff. At the very bottom are pretty much all the ATOs. And I got the Grognarn. I think that's about everything, at least in here. So, well, anyway, thank you for letting me share this with you. Okay, bye.